Welcome, the new model in town. Here comes Nani! Yay! Hi, guys. Welcome back to my channel. This is your girl Nani. Today, I bring you a detailed tutorial on how to make this beautiful wrap crop top. Who is your model? Who is your model? Yeah, give them. Should you ball up? Should you ball up? All right, guys. So I hope you're having fun. This is September to remember. A lot of things are happening, but today what I bring you is the cutting tutorial of this beautiful crop top. So I have my pattern paper here, and I'm going to start from the scratch. I'm going to start from the scratch. I'm explaining everything to you in details, right? We don't want to miss out on any juicy details. So here on my pattern paper, I'll start with making a starting point. I forgot to ask, how are you doing? How are you? Hope the weather is not treating you bad. I hope you're enjoying yourself. All right, knowing that you're fine, let me start. So this is my starting point, guys. So from there, I'll mark the length of my crop top. Okay, so your crop top can be before your navel or after your navel, depending on how low or how low. All right, so you mark your crop top. For me, I want it to be around 18 inches plus 1 inch hemming allowance. All right, so your crop top can be before your navel, after your navel, depending on how you want to rock it. Right, so the next thing you do will be to determine your shoulder width. For me, my shoulder is 16 divided by 2, that's 8. So I'll mark 8 inches at this upper part, okay? And afterwards, I'll mark my chest line. My chest line is 9 inches, and it is derived by dividing your bust measurement by 6 plus 2 inches. So I'll make a mark at that point. This right here is my chest line. So on the chest line, I would also mark the shoulder measurement. Okay, half of the shoulder measurement there as well, then connect it upwards in a straight line, right? Okay, so this would be how you determine your armhole. Then the next thing you do would be to determine your neckline width. I'm working with 3 inches um width and 1 inch depth for the back. Okay, so we're drafting the back pattern. We're actually going to use this one pattern to draft the front and the back. Okay, so 3 inches, or you can do 3.5 depending on how big you are. All right, so then you come down by 1 inch for your shoulder slope or your shoulder slant. Like we all know, the shoulders are not straight. Then afterwards, I'll add ½ inch as seam allowance, okay, to join the shoulder, then connect it back to the neckline. You can see what I have done there, right? So then on the chest line, you mark quarter of your bust measurement. That's your bust divided by 4 plus 1.5 inches seam allowance. On the half length, or on the length of your top, you're going to mark the circumference around that area, which is the waist, divided by 4 plus 2.5 inches. 2.5 inches because we'll be needing 1 inch for that. All right, so I'll just connect the bust to the waist. Right, so the next thing will be to determine your armhole. So from your shoulder slope, you're going to measure what I have left. It is 8 inches. I'll divide that into 2, like mark half of that point. Then you come inwards by ½ inch. Right, so using your cover line, you're going to connect from your shoulder slope to ½ inches to ½ inch inward. What is ½ inches? Then to your bust measurement. So we're going to connect like so. You can see that, right? So we are done with making the bodies, guys. It's as easy as this. The next thing you would do would be to mark your bust span measurement. For me, it's 4.5. Bust span is nipple to nipple, like the distance from one nipple to the other. All right, so after marking that, I also impute my bust point. My bust point is 11, so I'll just make a mark at that point. You need your bust point for your dart. All right, so this is BP bust point, right? So I also mark my bust span on the bust point. All right, so I'll connect that into a straight line. This is just to give us our dart, right? You need your bust span for your dart, okay, and for your dart you need your bust point, because the dart should stop at the bust point or even 1 inch after the bust point, right? So the next thing I'll do will be to mark ½ inch on both sides of the bust span line at the waistline, okay, because I left 1 inch allowance for that. So sharing that 1 inch into 2, it gives me ½ inch on both sides of the bust span line. Then I'll connect directly to the bust point. All right, so this is how I want my dart to be. Right, so having done this, I can comfortably cut out. I'm done drafting this pattern. So you cut out like so. In case you don't know how to cut it, this is how you just go about cutting it. Right, so 5 minutes into the tutorial and you're still watching, I love you. Thank you for joining me. If you're not yet subscribed, please consider subscribing. Please be kind to me, be nice to me. Okay, I'm a baby girl. Please subscribe, turn on your post notifications so that each time I upload a video, you'll be notified. To my subscribers, I love you so much. You guys are the real deal. I love you. Thank you for all you've done for me on this channel. Thank you for all the love. I do not take it for granted, guys. Right, so I'm done, and I'm going to cut this on fold. No zip allowance for the back, okay? Because the front will be open. So I'm going to just go place it and place my pattern on it and cut for the back. Remember, it's on fold, no zip allowance, guys. So I've done that. You can see I placed my pattern and cut out my fabric exactly what I have on my pattern. Right, so when I open it up, this is what it is. So I'll keep it aside and we're going to make adjustments to this back pattern to get our front pattern. Now remember, I took 1 inch off for the neck width, so for the neck depth, sorry. So I'm going to place my tape at 1 inch at the neck depth, then measure the neck depth I want for the front. Okay, so I want my neck depth to be 9 inches. That's exactly my chest line. Okay, just so that it will maybe expose a little bit of cleavage. But can do yours to be 7 or 8 inches, depending on how much cleavage you want to expose. From the little modeling I did, you could see that it exposed my cleavage. So depends on what you want. You can do 7 to 8 or 9 inches. Then if you do below or above 9 inches, just know that you need a camisole for it. All right, so I'll then connect it to the neck width, then cut it out. Right, so this is it for the front pattern. I'll just place it on my fabric to cut for the front. Now I'll show you how you place it on your fabric and cut. Now this is my fabric. Okay, you fold it into two because you're going to need 2 pieces, one left side and one right side. Okay, so you're going to place it on your fabric and leave an excess. Okay, depending on how long or how wide the fabric is. If you're using Ankara, it's just going to be along the 45 inches width. You know, Ankara is by 45. So just place it along the 45 inches width, okay? Or you can do 1.5 yards, depending on how long, okay? So the reason for extending this width is just for your for the straps, okay? Because it needs to have straps that you use to tie it. It's a wrap top, okay? So it's going to have straps that you wrap around your body, okay? So you can tie it either at the back or by the side, or just take it around your body, then bring it back to the front so that you can tie it, okay? So it just depends on how long you want the strap to be. So you can see I folded mine into two so that I'll have one left hand side and one right hand side, okay? So just place it like so, then making sure that the excess you would have should be enough to go around your body, or just go to the back and tie it, or be enough to go to the back, come back right in front to tie. All right, so I'll just cut this out, making sure that I've placed it and I put some weight on it just to hold the pattern firmly and it doesn't move around. Then I'm cutting, so I'll just cut from the length of the top to the end of my fabric. All right, so you just want to make sure you cut in a straight line. You can use your chalk to mark it out so that you cut out in a straight line. I'm already used to cotton fabric, so I know that this is on a straight line. You can see that. Okay, so we're just left with our working pattern and our fabric, right? So I'll just cut through the armhole. Okay, everything is just the same by the side. All right, so you just go and cut out through the armhole and make sure that you cut exactly what you have on your pattern, right? So I'll go ahead and cut it out like so, guys, like so. Okay, so you keep going. Here you have to be very careful so that it doesn't shift or move around, right? So you cut up to the shoulder. Remember, we already added our half-inch shoulder joining allowance, so you don't need to add another one. Just cut it like so. Then when you get to the to the neck width. You're going to determine how long or how wide you want your strap to be. Okay, you can see mine is, I folded into two, right? So you're just going to determine how wide you want your strap to be. It could be 3 inches, it could be 4 inches. Okay, so whatever you are doing, consider that you have your hemming allowance of 1 inch. So if you are doing 3 inches, it means that 1 inch already is your hemming allowance. So whatever you decide, you can come up by 4 inches or even 3 inches. Then you now cut through the neck width, then slant it towards either 3 inches or 4 inches, whatever you come up by as your strap width. Okay, you can see how I'm coming in gently. All right, so you just need to measure what you want. 3 inches is fine, 4 inches is also perfect. Okay, so I'll suggest you go with 4 inches. Okay, so you cut it through like so in a slanted line to meet your 4 inches. I did 3 inches. Okay, so remember that you have 1 inch hemming allowance. So if you do 3 inches, you're going to be left with 2 inches, and you're also going to pipe with bias or just pipe the side. So it's just going to reduce what you have there. So I'm insisting, or I'm suggesting, you work with 4 inches, so that by the time you hem the bottom, you'll be left with 3 inches. Then by the time you also hem the upper part with either your bias or you just fold it or pipe it, to be left with around 2.5 or 2 inches. Guys, I hope you get what I'm saying. So having cut that out, you can see what I have. This is the left hand side and this is the right hand side, and you have your band or your strap. Okay, so mine is not so long, okay, because of the fabric that I have. So what you do would be to place it right side facing right side. Just go and join the shoulder width. Okay, join the left and the right hand side, then you go and hem the bottom of the top and also finish up with your bias. Finish the neckline, okay, from the strap round the neckline for the front and the back. Okay, so when you're done joining the shoulder, okay, so like I said, just go and use your bias tip, okay, so just run it round the neckline. Then you sew the sides by your 1.5 inches seam allowance and hem the bottom of the top, attach your desired sleeve, and you're good to go. Bye.